I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
What's up, everybody? This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog. This is going to be episode 65 of the Mouthful podcast.
Give us a signal or something. Give us something so we're prepared. And by the way, I'm not even sure if this is the real or the fake episode.
This is the real 65.
It better be.
The only one who
Made me
got
jump.
affected by
Apologies.
that today.
Apologies. I figured when I said, let's start, that was enough notice.
We have so many false starts.
We do.
Yeah.
You gotta brace yourself.
You do. You just got to hold on to the table and the chair and just roll with it.
Welcome back, everybody, to the episode, the real episode
65.
There you go.
There you go. That voice, of course, is Mr. David Santos, a.k.a. Dreamy Twister.
Howdy, people.
And, of course, also with us is Krista Montanez. Oh, my God. Montanez, excuse me.
Wow.
you put another syllable
I
there.
just did.
Montaganez.
Montanez. We're going to rename you now as Montanez. No, Krista Montanez, a.k.a. Shadow 24/7. What's up, people? All right, guys. If this is your first time listening to the show, first of all, welcome. Thank you so much.
You.
Yes, I know. We're off to an awesome start.
Yes.
We're never like this.
No, we totally work.
I think the weather has gotten us all under
I think
the
so.
weather.
Too. It could be. Yeah, so The Mouthful is an exclusive podcast to GG. GG is Good Game, and that is our gaming group on Facebook. Go to goodgame.tech and join there. If you're listening to this on YouTube, Google Play, or iTunes, also like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
Indeed. We still need more subscribers for YouTube. So
we
please.
do, please. I want to bring up a little toast, guys, before we get into the usual things. A little
debauchery?
toast.
Okay.
The usual segments, I should say.
All right.
Today, in gaming history, guys, 22 years ago. Yeah.
Out of the way.
You're bracing yourself. July 21st, 1995. The Virtual Boy was released in Japan.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Here.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Here
Cheers.
for the Virtual Boy.
For the Virtual Boy, that poor system.
That was a system that defined the generation of who knows what.
Yeah.
But you know what? If we didn't have that, we wouldn't be having this, or maybe we wouldn't even be having virtual reality either.
Because of the butterfly effect.
It's possible. I mean,
Maybe.
although I think let me see, 1995 VR was a thing since the 80s. So
Yeah,
that's the first steps into it, though. Definitely.
No.
She's
The
right, though.
headache-inducing machine known as the Virtual Boy.
It was an attempt. That's what happens when you go cheap, which Nintendo is known for doing.
Actually, it's kind of surprising because Nintendo being known for evolving and making like really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had their Wii days. No, for
the Wii sold ridiculously.
I know. I was just this is a jab. But they were on the heels of what? The Game Boy, right? They had the Game Boy.
I think the Advance was already
the
out.
Advance and the Super Nintendo.
When did the
95.
virtual
Yeah,
Game
just
Boy?
around
Yeah,
that
it would have.
time.
It
I
would have
would
been.
think the Game Boy Advance. It would still be like in Game Boy Color. Probably.
There you go. But it's exactly Game of Color, and then you have this thing which is a little bit too ahead of its time. I would say the technology was definitely not there. It was not ready.
No, it was not.
It was kind of like having a 3-dimensional Tiger Electronics.
Yeah, it was pretty
in
bad.
your face. It was kind of
And also,
Don't remember about the little gauntlet thing that they had too.
the
Power Glove.
Power
thing,
Glove. Yeah.
The
Power Glove's so bad.
Yeah. But I had one. It was good.
No, that was the line. That was the line in the Wizard. You remember the Wizard?
No.
The movie The Wizard.
No.
Where they first preview Mario Brothers 3.
No.
Sir, you have never seen The Wizard?
I don't think so.
Can anybody comment on this? The Wizard is the quintessential video game movie. This is the first time that Super Mario Brothers 3 was ever shown to humanity. And this was the point in time.
That sounds familiar, but I don't.
Oh my God! Who was?
seen it.
Okay, keep talking. I want to find out who was the cast because it's ridiculous.
I have an excuse on why I've never seen it because I'm too young for that.
You were.
Oh well, I mean,
yes.
yeah.
And the only time I've ever seen the Power Glove was in Beethoven.
Oh, okay, the Power Glove, yeah. No, the Virtual Boy. Well, first off, one of the biggest problems with the Virtual Boy was it was supposed to be the next iteration of the Game Boy. Game Boy is very, very mobile. Take it anywhere you go. Not the Virtual Boy.
No.
It came with a stand, and you had to kind of put your face into it, and it was not a very good system. But overall, I do want to raise a glass and a toast to Virtual Boy, and I think the guy who made it was named Gunpei Yokoi.
Yes.
Which he actually made the Game Boy too.
He made the Game Boy, and everybody's like, "Yay!"
He was a genius.
Yes.
And then he made the Virtual Boy, and then he was like,
everybody was like, "Wow!"
Shuffle him to the corner.
Fred Savage. Fred Savage was the kid, the genius kid that could play. No, actually, his little brother. I think his name is Jimmy Woods. That was the character. Luke Edwards was the author. I don't know if he did anything else, but here
the wizard. Yeah, that does kind of look a little familiar.
You need to watch it just to
the
have
cover
it
art looks a little familiar.
Just to have it as part of your gaming viewing.
Wow, his phone
Possibly,
is
yeah.
so bright.
This
It's in my face.
Between this and the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh God, no. That's funny thing is I remember liking it, but I was young at the time.
I remember this was Nintendo's biggest commercial. It lasted for like an hour and a half. It was nothing but
pretty much.
And there was a kid there. There was a cool kid. I shouldn't be spoiling it to you.
Please.
50-year-old
so
movie.
Old.
He puts the power.
Spoilers.
Everybody is like super excited about this kid. He was a cool kid, of course, and he was playing games with his power glove. And he'd be like, he has the power. He puts it on, and he's like, "Yeah, the power glove is so bad." As in bad, as in good. Yes,
as in badass.
As in badass, but no.
Well, on that note, cheers, Virtual Boy.
Cheers.
All right, guys. So we're going to go right into what are we up to? Today I'm going to start with Mr. Dreamy Twister himself.
That's me.
What you been up to, sir?
I've been, I actually beat Nier for the second time.
Oh, okay.
I did the ending B, I guess is what they call it. Because
Side B, like
yeah,
it's
side
cassette?
B. Yeah, exactly. exactly. Is kind of like a New Game Plus, but not really.
Okay.
It is required play. This is not, I just finished it. That's it. Let me sit down. No. And the game tells you, no, you're going to want to keep playing. Basically, it's the equivalent of that. Man, I believe this game, I can see now where a lot of people were saying this game was going to be something memorable.
Mm.
Because when I played it the first time, it was great. I had fun. But it felt like, your typical character action game that you beat, I didn't think the graphics were like super great. As a matter of fact, I think that's the least favorite part of it is I realize it's like a bleak, like super future, in the year like 11,000 and something. But the earth is not colorful, the palette was kind of simple. Mm-hmm. So that was, a little bit of a dig, but then the gameplay itself was super addictive, super fun. So I kept up on it. But this, the story, it just like unwinds on the second part of it. And then you're supposed to finish it and continue playing it. And this is where the story goes like crazy. It is. I can't say enough, but it's so good that Chap Fear, I owe you an apology. I was playing, I was having fun, but I didn't get the level of fun that you were having and the level of reverence that you have for the game when you beat it, when you finish it. Now I understand. I'm a convert. Nier is so far my favorite game of this year. So far.
Okay.
So far.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been having great time with it to the detriment of anything else. I haven't played anything else. and I haven't watched anything. Well, actually, that's not true. I did watch the Circle.
Okay, with Emma Watson.
With Emma Watson and Tom Hanks. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Was it good?
No.
Oh shit!
That
no.
movie is fucking terrible.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I mean, that's David's opinion.
I tell you.
I know. That's what I'm asking.
I tell you.
Okay,
You've seen it?
Yeah, but it's your opinion.
Okay. Well, you're asking me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll tell you. So the problem is first it's trying to give us a message, which I thought it was a good message. You know, the whole circle is meant to be like gives you an idea of, oh, they're talking about Google, they're talking about a Facebook or a Google, Facebook, Apple kind of thing, you know.
Some online conglomerate.
Something major where like the world is interconnected. Everybody has the True You account or whatever is it that they call it. What is their version of YouTube of Facebook on their end, and now you have this super tiny little camera that you can put everywhere. They're super high def and they're meant to be used for sharing everything. It's like you could give away your privacy basically. And even though the movie goes into places where it's like this will never happen in real life, of course it's ridiculous. It kind of doesn't bother you. Because you can see the message that they're trying to give you. It's like an episode of Black Mirror.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's basically like so I was entertained. Entertained. So as things escalate and you want to know what's going on, you're thinking, well, shoot, there's going to be some major crazy reveal, something awesome is going to happen. No. The movie gives you the equivalent of like, okay, we ran out of money. This is where we're gonna finish it. That's it. Thank you. Goodbye. I almost want to spoil the fucking thing because I was so angry because there was nothing.
So to get this straight, without obviously going to spoilers, but it does not.
There's no satisfying
what's going
ending
on? Okay.
whatsoever.
Okay.
Well, it solves it in the stupidest reason. It gives you all this like crazy like. Like, oh man, I can't believe this. Corporations have all the power of all this power of our information and we are pretty much giving our lives away, giving our privacy away.
Kind of like 1984.
Posting stuff like that.
Then.
But in the end, it's like, well, let's just say if you don't want to hear it, I'm just skip ahead like 20 seconds. In the end, it's all like, well, you guys are sharing, we are sharing, giving away your privacy, our privacy, but the headhunters are not. All right. Thank you. Goodbye. That's all. That's all the movie. There's it doesn't solve anything. Whoa. It doesn't even make you feel bad for whoever is the bad guy. Tom Hanks is supposed to be like, like the corporate. You feel sorry for him. You feel sorry for him. His worst line is, oh man, we're fucked. That's all. That is worst. That is the worst thing. There's no stakes whatsoever. Like you never see a threat happening against this character. It's like, man, what a waste of a great character. And this is a Netflix movie.
It is?
Yeah, this is a Netflix movie.
Wait a minute.
Well, it came to the theaters.
Yeah, but it is a Netflix.
But it is a Netflix. Yeah,
wow.
it's
interesting.
So it's almost like I wasted my time on this. This could have a very good. I mean, the message I guess was there, but it left it without no resolution, and that's why I was like, okay, this movie sucked. It was terrible. I should have known because the ratings were great. I don't know why it hasn't Rotten Tomatoes, but
I was gonna say who's rating it great.
Oh no, I saw like if you go to I think it's on Amazon Prime, it didn't have like great ratings. I didn't check the Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe you can double check, but anyway,
it's 15%, sir.
15. There you go. It's well deserved.
It earned that 15%.
That's the circle. Yeah, don't waste your time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's on Netflix, maybe I'll.
No, that's what I had to. I had to rent it. It was on.
So wait, so that's weird because Netflix is very particular, and they have a news item later on that everything that they have will. Well,
maybe it was Netflix. Maybe it was Netflix. I don't know. I knew that I had to pay for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So
but it was not. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that's all.
That's all. All right. Miss Shadow, what you been up to?
You know, that movie sounds a lot like 1984, the George Orwell book. Like
1984?
Big Brother.
I think I've heard about the book. Yeah.
Yeah, the Big Brother books.
Yeah. This is like super Big Brother. But then, isn't that a cool concept to explore?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember this one movie that I saw that's kind of like that. Like everything's like black and white, and then one kid's like, you know what, screw it. I don't want to follow with your, utopia stuff. I want to do what I want to do.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
That'll probably be more interesting than this.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. If I knew the name, I would have told you, but I don't.
Funny thing is, I think the social network that Google was trying to bring up to compete against Facebook it was called The Circle or something along the lines with Circle. Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody remembers that, and I don't feel, don't feel bad for not remembering because it came and went.
All I
And
can
it
think
didn't
of
do a
is
bleep.
maybe the Google Circle that they were doing.
The Google Circles,
Yeah.
Well, exactly, yeah.
That
That's what it
came
was.
and went, and nobody cared about it.
Nobody.
Mm.
But I do suggest both of you watch Her.
Yes, that's actually on my list,
I saw.
It's on HBO.
Her, that movie,
now.
Her?
Yes, you saw it?
I saw it. Yeah, I
Please.
saw it.
I need to see it.
You need to watch it then.
Yeah.
I need to see it.
Okay, yeah.
Say nothing.
You don't want
Don't even give me not even an impression.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to be tainted at all.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, gaming wise, I haven't really been doing much. I'm trying to give my PS4 a break.
Oh.
It's kind of hard when that's like one of the only entertainment that I have.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you gotta take a break
I've
from it.
been watching Netflix on it, really.
Okay.
So still trying to catch up on Orange is the New Black, and that's really it.
Oh, awesome!
Really.
That's a great show. I haven't yet to start it. It's on my list to do, to watch, but I haven't started yet. So I need to. But I have so many. So
yeah, it's really good. But I can understand considering they're like hour-long episodes.
yes, that's another issue with them when they're long episodes. They're not
But it's
not
it's
easily
good.
digestible.
Sometimes it's like, why are they doing that? This is stupid, but it's more or less it's good.
Awesome. Well, I have actually been playing 2 games. First and foremost, I want
The Game
to
of Thrones.
get a shout out. Oh, so let me
One of them.
let me rephrase this then. I've been playing 3 games.
Okay, I have that on my list, but I've yet to download it.
Actually, I was referring to the show.
But I'm
So,
The show has finally come back.
if you play the Game of Thrones, either you play or you die. I think that's how the line goes. I don't
No,
remember.
not even close. So, well, it's a little close, but no. So the season just started again. First episode, first 10 minutes, freaking knocks
like,
it out of
done.
the park,
I'm
dude.
done.
It's just like
I'm done.
that's all we need. Is honestly, they could just done that, and it'd have been just fine. Like, mic drop. That's it.
So
And,
they could have rolled credits right there. And
Yes, I'm not going to spoil.
Otherwise.
I will not spoil anything happening. But my God, was that an awesome intro to the season? The rest of the episode after that, it's putting the pieces where they're going to go. It's the way every season starts with Game of Thrones. It's kind of just telling you where people are at and kind of laying the groundwork so that we can get to the big part of the season, which is going to come sooner because there's only just saw 1 episode and there's only 6 left. So.
yeah.
And then we have to wait till 2019 apparently to see the last season. But
that's bad for
You know-
matters of a piece of news that I have later on.
But that might be like worth the wait if you think about it.
the problem maybe, but we're looking at 2 years.
Mhm.
2 years
For final
to
season.
get a final. That's
That's too much.
a lot. That's a lot. So I don't
Really?
agree with that at all. But yeah. Anyway, good episode.
Mm.
Glad I saw it. The second game that I played.
The second game.
And finished.
The game of life.
Joltin. The Valhalla
yeah.
edition.
He's getting ready for Yonder.
Yes. I love this game. Okay. I was, first off, the
Didn't you
voice.
7.5 it?
Who?
You 7.5 it, didn't you?
Joltin?
Yeah.
I didn't give a rate.
Oh.
Did I rate that? No,
No,
7.5
no.
was Gravity Rush 2.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. That's what it
Gravity
was,
Rush 2, yeah. Which I still haven't beat yet, but
Hey, 7.5 is a good score.
It
if
is
you
a
would have
good
said
score.
it's good,
It
I
is.
was just one. I was
it's
just
actually
saying.
almost really good, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I will play. I would definitely be down with a 7.5.
Would you now?
Well, when I'm done with my nines and eights. Yes.
Well, Joltin, I would easily put as a good 8.5. It is so basically you play this Viking warrior who's a woman. Her name is Thora, who is her father named after Thor. Thora, yeah, and it takes place all within Norse mythology. So you're fighting a lot. You end up fighting these Jotun, who are these massive beasts or gods or whatever they are. What happens at the very beginning? This is not a spoiler. At the very beginning, she's on a ship. Ship wrecks somewhere. She falls into the sea, and out of nowhere, she now wakes up in what appears to be the heavens, Valhalla, and so she is. In order for her to get to, I guess, the gates of heaven, and their version of it, she's been tasked with taking down these Jotuns. So that's what you're doing. All right. And you're going, and it's kind of similar to, what was it? What we had said? Shadow Colossus.
Oh, okay.
Shadow Colossus in the sense where you're just fighting beasts, but at the same time, you're not just fighting because you have to survive these areas before you get to them. You got to find these rooms which open up the doors to these Jotuns, and these rooms are hidden within different areas. They have, from if you're familiar with if you're not familiar with Norse mythology, but you have seen Thor the movie, you'll know that you have the frost giants, and you have I think it was called Niflheim or something like that. Yeah. So all these areas and all these realms that are mentioned, kind of in they're all, that's what you're traversing. It's really good. It's really good. The battles are tough but fair. You know what I mean?
Side scroller or
it is no. It's kind of like what do you call that? Isometric view. Yeah, isometric view. But man, when you take on these things, dude, that you are literally the size of their toe. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's like, or their foot at least. You know what I mean? That's what you're basically.
Shadow of the Colossus, basically.
Very similar to that. That's and I can also say very God of War like. Especially God of War 3, where you have these massive battles. Again, nowhere near that. This is all hand-drawn graphics that are gorgeous hand-drawn graphics. So definitely enjoyed that. It only took, it's not really a spoiler, but it's about 5 to 6 hours. Again, depending on your skill. Yeah, you know what I mean? But it was really good. I definitely recommend that. And the last one I've been playing was, or is, because I'm still playing now, Ratchet and Clank.
Yes, you got into the Ratchet finally.
Yes, you finally did.
Man, this game is good, dude.
Yeah, did I tell you? It's.
I have, for whatever reason, I never did any of the Ratchet and Clanks. There was this weird thing where it was always, I don't want to compare it, but kind of like you had some people who did Mario, some people who did Sonic, right? Well, I did the Jack and Daxter series, and I never did the Ratchet and Clank. And the funny thing is, I've spoken to some people who just did the Ratchet and Clank and never touched the Jack and Daxter. I'm like, I don't know what it is.
What was the other one? Oh my God, the one that is you're like a raccoon. Sly Cooper. Yeah. That'll be in that family.
Yeah, that's like the middleman.
Yeah, that's like. Let me see. You have Mario. You have Sonic, and Sly would be
Alex Kidd.
There you go. Exactly. Alex Kidd or Earthworm Jim or something like that.
Or maybe even Rayman.
Rayman. There you go. Face. There you go. That's Rayman. Come on.
So
Alex Kidd.
Alex Kidd was a little bit of an insult too.
Yeah.
But no. Seriously, Ratchet and Clank is so freaking good, dude. It has everything. I know it's supposed to be a 3D platformer, but I told you I'm playing this. I'm going, this feels more like a more animated third person shooter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
it is gorgeous.
It is ridiculously good looking. It's meaty. There's a lot to do.
Yeah.
A lot to collect.
A lot of web
collecting.
Yes.
Which I normally don't like in games like what is this, Assassin's Creed, collecting the million flags.
No.
Here I'm looking for all the good stuff. I don't even care.
It encourages you to play it again to get the other weapons.
To get the other weapons. Because the weapons are the best part.
Yeah, that's what I'm enjoying right now. And I'm upgrading the weapons. There's an upgrade system.
Disco ball weapon. Have you gotten a disco ball weapon?
Which one?
Disco ball.
Disco ball. Oh, I don't think it's called that, but yes, I
know it's not called that. Yeah, I don't remember. But
what about the sheepinator?
That one I have to get. I have to like 40,000 credits or something like that, or bolts, I guess.
The ball, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're collecting ball, which is so satisfying. Also, as you're killing enemies.
Oh, dude! I just upgraded something where my wrench, where now it'll pull from much further away.
Yeah, that is so satisfying.
Yeah, it's really I'm enjoying it. And then there's space battles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, these space battles are. I mean, they're not.
Yeah, you're not dogfighting.
They're not elite.
Yeah.
No, what's the other one?
Ice Combat.
There's not. It's not Ace Combat or anything like that, but it's definitely. I was telling you, it's better than Star Fox. So, it's a lot of fun.
The best part is that this is a reboot. So you don't need to play the previous one.
No, you can just start with this one. And it's a beautiful game.
It's a good thing you started it though.
Yeah, I'm happy I did. I mean, it was only $40 when it came out, and playing it now, again, I've never played it before, which is why I was a little bit interested, a little bit not trying to avoid it or anything like that, but I just anything about it. I got it on the sale. I think I paid like $8 or something like that. Well worth the $8.
Worth it $40.
$40, yeah, well worth the whatever price that it came. And it came out at $40. We were talking about this before, and it's sad because it's like these games, they're coming out cheaper for the purpose of not having to be $60. You know what I mean? And for whatever freaking reason, people aren't buying them.
It's already stigmatizing. Yeah. So, it's a 40. It must not be good.
It must not be as great, and that's a sad thing because this one here is, and I'm part of the problem. Don't get me wrong. I didn't avoid it because it was $40. I just didn't do it because I didn't have any connection to the series, and that's why I got it $8. But if you play Ratchet and Clank before, there's no reason not to play this game. You know what I mean? Especially if you enjoyed it. And I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I think I'm almost done. It feels like I'm. From where the story's going, I think I'm offering.
Yeah, I don't think there's many places that you need to go.
It was like a good 9 planets.
But it still makes you
kind of like our solar system.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. The areas are very diverse. Every area is different. Yeah. You got your lava planet, you got your forest planet, your water planet.
That's the best part of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
they
it's
make everything
really
different.
really good. And graphically, man, I can't say much more about it. It's so good. But yeah.
Patch on the PlayStation 4 Pro. I still haven't played it yet to see it.
The patch? Yeah, it is. That's one of the ones that have been patched for that. Oh, dude, you gotta do it, man.
I think that's it's the marketing reason why we're just like, if it's not $60, it's not worth it.
Well, the common gamers. I didn't do it because of that, or rather, I didn't avoid it because of that. But yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. Guys, I'm going to go into some news. I'm going to do things a little different today. I'm going to pass it over to Miss Shadow 24/7 to kick off the news. You go, girl.
Kick it!
Alright, so I was just looking over what else.
Kick it!
Final Fantasy has some new items coming. Well,
Final Fantasy 15?
Yes.
15.
I stopped playing that a long time ago.
Yes. But some people might continue and might enjoy this. So they're bringing out Power Rangers like exosuits for Noctis and Co.
Oh yeah, I'm missing that.
Are they so?
They're Magitech exosuits.
Oh, okay.
That looks exactly like Power Rangers. Yeah. Not only that, that's awesome. Keep going.
So they practically make you invincible for 30 minutes.
What?
Yep.
That's just like a cheat code then.
But you can only use the suit once every 24 hours.
Once a day, okay.
So you use it on the final boss, and there you go.
Magitech exosuits.
It works, actually, because that final area, there's like lots of high-level enemies. So it helps.
You just play it half an hour at a time every day.
Yes.
I'm looking at the suits here, so they do look. You got the Black Ranger, the Red Ranger, the blue, and the yellow. Mm-hmm. No pink. It's sad, really. Well, saying.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Like, it's nice to have homage to other things and games. As long as they have, consenting rights for it.
Yeah, I'll say it this way. I mean, they're still supporting Final Fantasy 15. I mean, they're not letting it go. Granted, I don't care about anything it's doing. But for people who are, no, I'm saying for people who are, I can see, hey, oh shit, like you were interested in when the new car was able to leap
Yeah,
down.
I thought that was gonna be. I thought that was gonna fix the fundamental problem with that game, but nope, they sure didn't.
Either way, there's still
think
support.
Yeah, there are still people because it's not your usual turn-based, so everyone's kind of bit like off about it because it's not quote unquote traditional.
I saw some gameplay that Dream Twister posted with a battle with some big whatever. And for the life of me, I could not tell. Like, I'm not even sure what's going on here. It's a lot of slashing, and it was nighttime on top of that.
No, I can tell you something about Final Fantasy 13. That Final Fantasy was garbage, but at least if they wanted to make a difference if they wanted to go away from traditional, well, actually, if you want to go away from traditional Final Fantasy, you should be playing Final Fantasy 12, which was released last week, and it's awesome. It's amazing.
You played it?
The Zodiac, the Zodiac. Well, I played Final Fantasy 12.
The 4, okay.
Yeah.
But if you wanted a different fighting system, which was fun, and which you were still in control of what you were doing, yeah, Final Fantasy 13, at least they nailed that. This one, you have no control of what you're doing. You're just pressing a button, and whatever he does, you do, And whenever the prompt tells you, okay, go ahead and block now, you press the block button. I'm shitting you not. This is literally how the fighting goes. And other than that, you can just leave the button pressed and have a sandwich on your other hand.
Wow.
You can dodge too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a button to dodge. Which, don't worry, you also get a prompt when it's ready. When you're ready to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And some like teamwork cues too.
There is which
teamwork cues.
Yeah, that teamwork things, which I also never understood exactly. I mean, I knew that when the bar fills up, you can use it, but using it, you didn't use it strategically. You used it whenever you had it, basically.
Yeah.
And
that's how you level it up too.
And if your life goes down, then just every now and then just pop the menu and take a potion, and that's it.
Yeah,
Magic
I saw that.
plays no part whatsoever.
Yeah, I saw your potion and then potion and then
the
I was like,
little
oh,
danger zone. Your teammates can pick you up too.
Yeah.
okay.
And on another note, episode Ignis, which is the last of the Bros, coming out holiday
2017.
Yes.
Okay, good stuff, sir. Mr. Dreamy Twister.
Sir, I found the specific news that I wanted to talk about. That from the moment that I heard about this, I was like, yes, this is the thing I want to bring up. Because you guys are enjoying Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Well, a few you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not, but that's okay. I recognize it's a great series, and I already went through the books. So from the producers of Game of Thrones comes this series that I am very interested in actually seeing it when it comes out. They will begin production of a new series called Confederate. And
Confederate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The story is basically I'm trying to find here. The Confederate chronicles the events leading to a third American Civil War. The series takes place in an alternate timeline where the southern states have successfully seceded from the Union, giving rise to a nation in which slavery remains legal and has evolved into a modern institution. So kind of, it's a little political here where it's going, especially in the sense of the heated, bless you, in the heated, there you go.
Sorry guys, I had to sneeze there.
I'm gonna edit a shoo. No, I don't know, man. It's just because I realized that some subjects are a little touchy now, in this in this politically charged times that we're living.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But that said, I am a huge fan of alternate reality. Anything that has to do with what ifs, any what if situations.
Everyone loves
It's a butterfly effect.
Yes.
So what if this happened?
Yeah. What if
and
instead?
how would that change the events afterwards.
Exactly.
Or
What
in
if
other
the
words, this action will have consequences.
Mhm.
Yes. What if the Virtual Boy was never released? We'll be playing probably
PlayStation VR would not be out right now.
GameCube VR. We will have probably. Anyway,
If it was a success, we probably would have a GameCube VR or something.
yes, isn't that right? So it currently has no premiere date. But as soon as season 8 closes, they're probably thinking they're gonna have, bless you, production. What's in the air?
Sorry.
They probably have production, start production on this. So yeah, looking forward to that because Game of Thrones is great.
Yeah. I'm curious about that. Obviously, they're giving these guys, the creators of Game of Thrones, pretty much anything they want at this point.
Oh yeah.
That's common. Whenever you do something extremely well in Hollywood or in TV, you pretty much have your say of what your next project is. And I hope it works out for them because they did great on Game of Thrones as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Piece of news I have. Little console was announced and first images were released very recently, called the Atari Box.
What? See, I'm telling you, we're already living in an alternate reality.
We must be. Because I don't know who the hell was asking for this. I don't know why Atari said, hey, this is the time for us to come back.
Yeah,
They
Atari
have a
games.
lot of shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Atari games, they don't age very well.
They're dead. As far as concerned, they are the Walking Dead
They
of
might
games.
just bring in completely new stuff.
They are going to. So what they've said is that they're going to. Atari said that first off, the unit's going to have 4 USB ports and HDMI outputs. So this alone suggests it's going to have some sort of modern internal spec. So clearly, it's not a
No, it's not good.
an NES Mini version.
Yeah, it's not an
of the
Atari Mini for
so-
crying out loud. You can emulate that on a freaking
Correct.
toaster.
The question is, why would you want to emulate those?
I mean, look at the way it looks like.
Adventure.
Looks like some futuristic, like steam.
It does. It
box or
looks like,
something.
I won't lie. I like the design of it. I like that design.
It's nice.
You
It's nice.
know-
It's sleek.
We
Yeah.
don't know what
Wood
the
grain?
controllers look like.
No,
Yeah.
they only
No.
showed off the concept of the
That is
the
because
console itself.
you could probably plug in whatever console,
Whatever controller you
want. If it's gonna be Bluetooth, you could be playing with PlayStation 4 controllers.
Chances are that's
That'd be
exactly
nice.
what this is going to be.
Yeah.
The problem
That
is
sure would be nice.
that obviously whatever exclusive stuff is not going to be on there. This is going to be, whatever's not exclusive available everywhere.
Yeah.
So basically, it's also a quote from the Atari says, it also means that while we will be delivering classic gaming content, we'll also be delivering current gaming content. So I don't know what particular games or what type of specs.
I can see where this is going already, and
The Ouya?
I'm very worried. Yep.
The Ouya?
This is going the Ouya
Oh,
route.
the Ouya route.
This is what's gonna end up being a box that you can put Android games and ports of mobile games and all that jazz.
I do hope that they
It's
put
possible, yeah.
like retro in the now, like 8-bit, 16-bit games on their system.
But who
Oh, this one here, I don't see that's the thing.
'Cause why
16-bit
not?
systems, 16-bit games, the best ones are on Nintendo. Nintendo's not going to allow them to have anything of theirs.
No, right.
So
course
what
not.
are
if
you
you
left
run an
with?
emulator,
I mean, yeah. And other than
you
that,
can go that route.
Yeah, you can go that
Why
route.
would you really
great
want
route.
to do that? That you
for that you could
kind
just
of-
emulate it somewhere else. Why do you need to buy the box for?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But
So,
I mean, like new IPs that they make.
see,
themselves.
that's the thing. I don't know who they would get, but the whole deal is when you have a console like this that comes out, you have to have content. You have to have people who are going to make something exclusive for it to move units. That said, the people making stuff for it have to say, yeah, do we want to invest in making something for this if this box doesn't move anywhere? So we'll spend God knows how much money to get you this exclusive thing, but it never sells. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because no one's buying this
It'll probably
console.
be like another Steam box or something.
Maybe.
But no, but Steambox was a PC at least. This is going to be like, basically, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how big it is. It doesn't look, I mean, from what I can see here, just based on the USB ports, on the side, it doesn't look very big.
No.
So it doesn't look like it's going to be very powerful.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of developers were surprised, but they're just like, we don't see this going very far.
They're going to port stuff.
Yeah,
that's what they're going to do. They're going to port a bunch of stuff. I don't know who's asking for this.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the gameplay is. For
Welcome
this one.
back, Atari, is all I can say.
And it's not like they have a great great stable of titles, that they can just pull from. What are you gonna play? Centipede?
I know. I know you can play. You can play some ET because that shit was a shit.
Yes.
At that
shit was
point,
the
then
shit.
just get like
The shit.
like the $40 little Atari system that they have in stores.
There was that you get. Yeah, there was that you get.
Yeah, with like all the games. Yeah,
Yes.
with every game they ever release, it only takes up like 100 megabytes.
Store.
Like at this point, just bring us like Sega Genesis or maybe another Dreamcast.
Oh,
they have those.
If we want to
they
talk
have
about
those
that,
already.
Don't you worry. If you want a Sega one, well, how about I got a console for you. The Sega Genesis Flashback is the latest plug and play game console, mini console. It's gonna retail for $80, and it's gonna come out with 85 games. Now, these games include games like Mortal Kombat,
2,
Shining Force, no Mortal Kombat. So this is Mortal Kombat,
just
Fantasy and Fantasy Star, which is great. The Fantasy Star is amazing. The cool thing is that. Also, is that unlike the Nintendo Mini, it also allows for it's also gonna have a cartridge port, so you can put in your Genesis games on it.
Oh, so you just play off it. Okay.
Yes. Includes 2 wireless Genesis style controllers, 720p HDMI output, and you can save, pause, and rewind on every game, and rewind, mind you.
Wow.
So so there you go. It's happening. Don't worry.
It's nice though that we're having.
What is it called?
These-
Flashback?
It's called the Sega the Sega the Sega Genesis Flashback.
But it's nice that we're having these little mini consoles coming back, so that
You have
generations to come can
appreciate
enjoy
them.
what the first games were.
Yeah. I mean, my problem. I mean, obviously,
And
no
how
offense to
difficult they
Sega.
were.
Yeah, they were always very difficult. No offense to Sega, but I know I'm not going to have any problem finding one of these. Okay. And it's not because nobody's going to buy them. It's just because Sega's probably going to have a lot. And let's just be real.
Exactly.
Let's be real. They're not going to go flying off the shelves the way the SNES will.
They could be. Well, the Nintendo thing was like a thing, right? And of course, they're going to make 500 in the world.
Yeah.
So
and now they're going to do that again.
So
that's what I'm saying.
that's how they're going to have
Yeah.
everybody else like, oh, I want one.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Sega's going to do that. And
No, probably not.
I don't think they have the library that would cause that much of a craze, but that's just me.
They have the library. The problem is people don't appreciate it. They have the library.
Okay.
You Nintendo fanboy.
If you say so.
Valve has issued
Just let 'em
its...
take it.
What, you want to talk about this?
No.
Let 'em take
Go ahead, go ahead.
Valve has issued its biggest banhammer in history following the Steam Summer Sale.
Banhammer?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, Valve
They've
banned
been banning
over
a lot of people.
40,000 Steam accounts for cheating on July 6th, making it the single largest banhammer the company has ever deployed. 40,000 accounts. The problem was that the reason why they're doing it is because players were basically buying the games that they wanted to cheat at a discount because of the sales. So they can test the cheats, so they can test the waters basically. And every time they will get caught, the Valve's VAC system will take them off, and then they'll just go in and buy another game. So in a way, it was like
it was making
mad,
the money.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
a mad business that they have right there.
Mm-hmm. That's. I mean, you can point at two people. One, Valve obviously is pocketing a buttload of money there, but two, the consumer is like, dude, you clearly have nothing but money to burn. You know what I mean? Because what the hell?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're
that
right.
doesn't make sense. Yeah.
The issue actually is because they do VAC bans, but they only do it on the accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And if people get a certain number of VAC bans, they should just ban the IP instead. But they don't do that. They just
No.
ban the account completely when people
The problem is that
continue to go and be like, oh, okay, this account's banned. All right, let me make another one now.
the problem is that you can't really ban IPs. You should be able to ban PCs, but because PCs are not, or you don't normally make your PC identifiable enough, so they can ban it, no matter what account you make. IPs are always going to be handled differently, or they're always going to be renewed whenever you unplug and plug in your modem again. So that means that they can just do that.
But that's if somebody's like smart enough.
Well, these people are cheating.
They got some knowledge up in there.
They'll have some knowledge.
They probably got mods going in there.
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah.
So,
Miss Shadow.
Since he's taken the spotlight. So I
the
saw
Sega Genesis
something-
was not my news. That was you asked for the Sega Genesis. I deliver you one.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Yes, thank you for that. So I found something recently, and I'm a bit surprised, a bit skeptical, and it's one of my favorite animes. One Piece is getting a live action.
One Piece. Okay.
Yes. But
Those live actions. Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be foreign, so I'm guessing Western around here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they're already trying to do a Cowboy Bebop one, which is going to try and do a Netflix again.
Mhm.
Skeptical, but because animation coming live action. But the reason why I'm more on this one is because, it's about a kid named Monkey D. Luffy going to
It's a great name.
the ends of the earth called the Red Line to become the next Pirate King.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is that in the show they have this fruit called the devil fruit, which if you eat it, it gives you power, choose whatever one you eat, but the consequences, you can't swim.
You can't swim. Okay.
Yes. So Luffy, he ate the gum fruit, which makes him
This
I
is
know.
great.
Which-
I love it.
Japan people.
which makes him rubber.
Okay.
So he's elastic, he can, shoot himself.
But this is
however
all
long.
going to be live action?
Yeah, that's
Nick
why
Fury's gonna give him a visit soon.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a bit skeptical, because I'm like, how are they going to do those fight
Hmm.
scenes where in the show he literally twists himself like a
rubber
knot
band or something, yeah.
Yeah, he twists himself, he throws people around. How are they going to do that?
So, Fantastic Four has Mr. Fantastic, who is basically
Rubber.
a rubber band man.
Mhm.
That said, that is not the not the movie you really want to emulate either.
No.
You know?
Also,
So, I don't know.
there's another because there's multiple people who's eating the devil fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another one who he can't get killed. Like if you slash him, if you shoot him, he can't get killed because he can separate his body parts
Oh,
and control them at will. So how are they going to do that?
yeah, that's going to be it's going to be on Netflix?
I don't
Oh, we don't know yet? Oh, they
Yeah,
haven't
we
said?
don't know yet. But I know Cowboy Bebop might be on Netflix.
So that's going to be a very special effects heavy type of movie.
So I'm very, very
And One Piece
Skeptical on that.
is not a PG-13
no.
product. So
Mm.
that's going to be difficult.
And there's lots of action, especially since you have Chopper. He's like a little itty bitty deer, but he can turn into a hulking deer.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of
things that go on in the show, and I'm wondering how they're going to do that in live action.
Yeah. It's hopefully they can deliver. I mean, that's
I
what it
hope
comes down
so.
to. And if Netflix picks it up, that may not be such a bad thing because they do throw money at stuff.
Mm.
Speaking of which, speaking of
Netflix?
Netflix is getting ready to enter the blockbuster films world.
What?
Oh.
Yes, with a little movie called Bright.
Yes.
First trailer just debuted at Comic-Con today or yesterday. I'm not entirely sure when it was. But it is a fantasy movie and will star Will Smith. It is directed by David Ayers, which, if it weren't for Suicide Squad,
Yes. It would have been like I
would have been in. because
exactly.
He did End the Watch,
It would have brought confidence.
which, if you've seen End the Watch, is a very gritty cop film. and which, believe it or not, seems to be what he's pulling from here to pull into.
You see that trailer. It does look like, okay, this is fantasy, but at the same time, this is like gritty reality also.
He did Fury, which is one of my favorite films. Fury is with Brad Pitt. And it is a World War II epic movie with tanks and a tank battalion. And it is, let's just say, I never thought of a tank movie being this visceral and nerve-wracking and everything. You know what I mean? And he really pulled it off. And then, of course, he did Suicide Squad, which we're not going to get into. But
not talk about Suicide Squad.
That said, though, I will give him one little thing on this and say that I think Warner Brothers. First off, David Ayers has gone on record saying that he did not like the final outcome of Suicide Squad. Okay, He also is pretty well known that Warner Brothers has their hand in stuff when it comes to any of their products. So yes, you can have a director involved, but God knows how many of them are forcing things to go a different way. That said, because of that, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt here. We saw the trailer. What do you guys think of it?
I loved it. They gave me a Shadowrun vibe without the Blade Runner-y type of thing that Shadowrun tends to do.
Correct. Yeah.
Shadowrun is cyberpunk. Yeah, cyberpunk. Books and games. I think it's a movie property. I don't remember a Shadowrun movie. Where it's humans and orcs and elves. They live in our world. They exist. Yeah, exactly. And they have our world problems. You know, even though they're these fantastical beings. This one also it's going on that, but a little bit more reality,
closer to
our timeline. Also,
it has this very
modern,
very gritty cop movie feel to it. Will Smith is a cop, but yeah, man, his first partner is an orc.
He's an orc.
Yeah.
Another thing that it reminds me a lot is The Wolf Among Us. The world of the Wolf Among Us, where
fables,
the fables, yes, exactly. The world, exactly, which is super fascinating. Again, it all has to do with alternate reality, which I love. So yeah, I saw that trailer and I was like, yes, I'm down. Thing is, I have to wait until December
22nd. Yes,
you can wait. You have a lot of stuff on your queue already.
Yes.
So it reminded me a bit of that R.I.P.D. movie, if you remember that.
I do. I never saw it.
It's better than that.
I hope so.
A lot better.
I never saw it, but that was slammed for being not very good.
Yeah, I saw that in the movies, and I walked. I'm just like, wow, that was terrible. But I hope.
I'm sorry you went to the movies.
I hope this
is
better to see it.
This movie brought up an interesting thing here because Netflix wants to. When Netflix makes a movie, it's automatically available on Netflix. Okay. They have made some movies where it does come to the theater, but it's already available on Netflix. So you can go to the theater to watch it, or you can just stay home if you have Netflix, right?
Yeah.
This is their first blockbuster movie. This is where we're talking over $100 million being spent on a movie for them to make. So that's them entering this world. Very recently, same place, San Diego Comic-Con or something like that. Christopher Nolan went on record saying that he does not agree with Netflix.
Yeah, he hates it.
Yeah, he's like, this is taking away from the theaters. The theaters should be an experience. He does like Amazon's version of it where you'll probably get it pretty quickly on Amazon, but it's still exclusive to theaters for a limited time. And so he appreciates that.
So I have a question. What do you think of a system where you have a movie in the theaters and you pay $30 to watch it at home?
That's funny because that was going to be one of my hot topics of the week, believe it or not.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I have it written somewhere. But so that is a system that is kind of, I think, already in play or on its way to be in play. Well, you're right. You pay $30. The movie's available immediately at home. I don't know. When I go to the theater, here's what I like about the theater, especially now where you have theaters like Epic that make Night at the Theater an event. You know,
Right.
It's like going to the opera. When you go to the opera, you're having this great experience, and it's everything involved. You have the intermission, you have the all the work that they put in to put on this beautiful show for you. So this is a theater doing the same thing for you now, because they have to, because there are so many other avenues for you to watch a movie. So they're like, okay, we got to make sure they come. So you go to Epic Theater, and I like, but you're also paying premium to go to Epic Theater.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what the future is for it, but I have to kind of.
I'm thinking in the sense of, let's say I'm Chakra, and I have a super high end projection system at my home with like Atmos surround sound, and I invite a bunch of my friends. You know, a bunch of my friends will get together. Hey, you want to watch a movie? Oh yeah, let's watch it at home. You know, everybody puts, you know, they put their part, you know, and whatever. We cook whatever we want to cook, and we hang out. It's our place. We're just chilling. Mm-hmm. Remember, I Chakra. And that's my fantasy. I live in this world.
This is your alternate reality.
Yeah, this is my alternate reality. I drive trucks during the day, and I play games on my super high-end computer all night. Just kidding, Chakra. You're awesome. And that's why I went to your life. But $30, and I get all my friends, and we sit down, we watch this movie, in the privacy of our home theater. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool.
It is. Yeah. I think it's a great thing, but there is.
And you cook. You can cook something because
sure.
you're the cook. Yeah.
There is something that's great. First off, I agree. That's great.
That is nice, though.
But the difference is, and here's where me as I'll have to stand in as with Christopher Nolan in this thing, that there is a certain level of how do I say it? Basically, there's just this trance when you're in a theater. In a theater, there's no talking, there's no pausing, there's no you're on your phone, you're not doing any of that. You're just focused on what's being played in front of you. And at home, that is so easily lost. Yeah. And sometimes I get frustrated watching movies at home, because I'm just like, I don't want to pause, and I'm always getting it to the point where, all right, somebody has to go to the bathroom. Okay. Also, and I'm like, you guys are killing me. And I understand. Hey man, we're all got body issues. I get it. You know what I mean? But I mean, at the same time, when you're at the theater, dude, I can tell you right now, this is why when I go to the theater, I normally don't eat or drink anything there because I'm not getting up I am focused on what's happening. So I can appreciate Christopher Nolan's opinion on this, that there is, because he is the type of director that he is. He is a guy who appreciates opera, who appreciates the arts. You know what I mean? And when you're at the arts, when you're at a play, you're into that play. You're entranced with it. Nobody's on their phone. That's what you paid to see. You paid for the show that they're putting on. And it's essentially the same thing. They're paid for the movie that they're putting on. So I can appreciate. For movies like Suicide Squad, you know what I mean? Fine. I don't mind. Yeah. Ghostbusters. Yeah, I don't mind. We'll do that. We'll make it a big thing, whatever. But like, for instance, and for I need to bring him up, Dunkirk is a movie that came out, I believe, this weekend. It's Christopher Nolan. I am dying to see this movie. To see this movie.
I heard good things.
And yes, I have to. And that's a movie where if that was the option to sit in my living room, have a bunch of people over, have us cook, have us do whatever, and then watch this movie, I would not want to do it. I would say I would try to talk over you know what, let's watch something else. Let's watch Spider-Man. Let's watch something else that's available, because I would not want to do that.
You know what's funny is that I was actually going to say that about the whole, like, it's an experience.
It is.
And
it's great.
Also it gets you out of the house where you don't have to cook. You can make a dip, you can go at the mall and then end the day at the theater, get your popcorn, your drink. Because it's an experience, like you said, because, one, a lot of people don't have that home system yet to make it as a theater. So you get to sit back.
But everybody's working their way to it, but yeah.
You can sit back, nice chairs, put your feet up if you can.
If you're at the Epic.
Get popcorn.
If you can.
Get popcorn.
Get $7 popcorn.
Also, the whole phones thing, that is a big issue.
It's a big issue. I do not
like having people with their phones when I'm watching something. That's
how often Chris is here with us. How often do we watch a movie here? And 3 or 4 people on their phone, 2 people over here are chatting, and then never fails. Halfway through, oh my God, but why are they doing that? And I'm like, well, if you were watching, exactly. If you were watching before, you know why.
It's just honestly,
it's just I can't, dude. I can't.
So rude. It just makes you want mom would say, just go to the kitchen. Don't even watch the movie. I cherish
my movie experience. I do.
Then choose the people you're watching it, because I would say the problem is
that's like choosing your family. Choose your family.
Choose your family. Choose your yeah. You'd be like, honey, you can go watch something else.
The issue is with that is that you can choose, but everyone's going to do it at some point.
Yeah, of course.
So
it's like in the movie theater. I got my experience ruined when I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I have some guy next to me. He will laugh at the stupidest. Like, that's not even a joke. Shut the fuck up.
Nobody else is laughing.
That's all you heard during the movie.
Yeah. There is that too. Probably, yeah. You're absolutely right. There is that too.
You're throwing
that's why I like going to what's the place?
The Enzian?
Where you sit down and eat. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I remember. It's an eat-in place where you literally get food served to you and everything like that. Yeah.
Oh, great. So now I'm going to have
the Loma Grill.
Food from people eating cod next to me.
No, because we sit secluded. We like to sit in the big booths in the back where you're secluded from everyone else, but you can still see the screen.
Yeah, but the problem there is also this. They'll take your order, usually at the beginning.
Oh.
So the movie's either trailer's going or something like that, but something's happening. When your order's coming in, the movie's on. It's
now
like,
you're getting interrupted. Like, quickly,
I'm gonna need you to get out of the way. Just put my food down. Get the hell over there.
Exactly.
And you can also, have your alcohols too.
And that's another thing. You have your alcohol. Were you the one that ordered the margarita? Yes, I did. Just put it down. Just put it here. We'll sift through it later when there's a boring scene.
Well, I mean, but that's also nice if you want to eat and watch a movie at the same time. That's also nice. But of course, I usually prefer going to the other alternative.
Yes, I agree. So yes, look forward to
Right.
Oh yeah,
that's right. That's what we were talking about. Bright. Which did look good for the record.
Oh yeah, it looked great. It looked great. Man, I'm running low on ammo here with this news. So Nintendo, as you could probably everybody could expect, filed a new trademark for a Nintendo 64 Classic. Surprise!
Surprise to no one.
The controller that you hate so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That's the shitty ass controller with the 3 prongs. I don't even
understand why you're having so many issues when most of the games you play with the analog stick. You don't play with the D-pad.
You have 2 hands. That thing has 3 prongs, and the analog stick is in the middle prong. Thank you. Good night.
But it's not that hard to play it.
I'll give him credit for inventing, basically, or maybe not inventing, but developing the analog controller. They had the analog controller before anybody else did, right?
Yes, they were the first one to have the sticks.
Right. That was the first one to have
stick.
There's only one. The one stick. But and then the buttons made no sense, and it weren't any better with the Nintendo 64.
Never mind the controller.
Okay, all right. So anyway, so on July 18, Nintendo filed with filed 4 graphical trademarks with the European Union Intellectual Property Office, and so it looks like it's
going to happen.
It's basically but. Yeah, are we surprised?
I will be down for that. You don't even understand.
Okay, so
I would be too, but again, we're probably not going to find one because they're going to fucking sell out.
And it's probably going to. This one's going to be $100.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're going up in price now. Yeah.
And plus that controller. Yeah.
And the games. What do you think the game's going to come? Remember, it had what the other one had?
30 games.
25. What the first one had 30 games, right?
Yeah. This one
now we're down to 21.
Really?
This at Super NES is
Super NES went down?
Yes, there's only 21 games.
Forget it.
So we'll see about the Nintendo because it had some iconic games on there.
It did, and those games are big though. Now you have what Ocarina of
We
Time.
got Ocarina. Wait, what? Ocarina of Time was on.
Was
Yes.
Nintendo 64?
Was
Yes,
Nintendo
it was.
64?
Yes, it was.
Oh wow! right.
You had Mario
Majora's Mask.
64.
Majora's Mask.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Majora's Mask and
Mario
that one.
Party. You had a lot of Mario Party on there.
Yeah, but they're probably
Super
going to
Smash
do
Brothers.
one.
Mario Kart.
Yes, Mario Kart 64, which is a big one.
Star Wars Pod Racers.
Yoshi's Island.
That
Yoshi's
won't
Story.
Yoshi's Story. Maybe it's
Yoshi's
Yoshi's Story. Yeah. The one with the baby Mario. With annoying little
Yeah,
clown.
that's Yoshi Island.
That's
That's
Yoshi,
but they
yeah.
did have
Yeah.
Yoshi's Story.
That was actually Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island.
Did they
Believe it or
have?
not. Yeah, that's what it's called.
I don't know. Did they have Rayman on there or no?
I don't
They
think
had
so.
Conker's Bad Fur Day though.
Oh,
That would be great, yes.
Yeah,
That
that's
would be pretty
Microsoft's now.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, that
true.
won't be
Yeah.
there.
For all that.
Well, we'll see what
It came
what
on there.
titles they come out, but
I
I
hope
don't.
they're good.
I
They're
hope
not.
so too. But I hope they're not. I mean, if you come out with 50 titles,
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye is
Yeah,
a must. Yeah,
GoldenEye.
but they have to obviously have to speak to the.
Mm.
Yeah, they have to have GoldenEye.
I know, but they have
They
to.
better have Pod Racers in there. That was my game.
Yeah, but that's Star Wars.
That's
though. I
Star
don't
Wars.
think
That's
they're
a
gonna go for
license,
That.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Pod Racer was awesome.
Well,
God.
we'll see what they include. What you got, Shadow?
So I'm sure all of you have heard about Star Wars Land for Disney.
Yes, I
Galaxy's
have.
Edge.
Yes.
That
Now-
ridiculously
I
overpriced thing.
already pre-ordered my room stay.
So now Disney has confirmed that they will have a Westworld-like, fully interactive Star Wars experience hotel where you
I did hear that. Yes,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
where
the
you
one I
walk
pre-ordered.
around, eat, drink, sleep in a hotel, and you have to dress up
Oh.
like Star Wars.
Dibs on Han Solo's outfit and the blaster.
You have to shoot first.
Yes, I do have to shoot first.
I mean, I don't know, because I'm really like about robots and androids and
Yeah, this is going to be. I mean, they're saying Westworld. That means that this is going to be. They're going to be synthetic versions of whatever hanging about. I don't know
Jabba the
how.
Hutt.
I don't know how they're going to. Westworld. If you haven't seen Westworld, is
Yeah.
very different. That's
Well,
sex
they
robots right
always
there.
do.
But I doubt that's going to happen here, obviously.
No,
but
definitely not. It's Disney.
but the whole deal.
Princess Leia in a gold bikini. It could happen.
Jesus,
It could happen.
It could.
There you
I
go.
wouldn't suggest you do that.
Honestly, I would just do it just to dress up in the Star Wars gear. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Other
it.
than
But I
that,
mean,
the whole synthetic
problem with
AI
that-
robots freak me out.
the problem with this is you're paying buttloads of money to be
Oh,
part of
yeah.
this.
It's
I
an
mean,
experience.
it's oh my god, but we're talking hundreds of dollars per person
Yes.
per day.
Wait,
You know what I mean?
hundreds?
Yes.
More like thousands, probably.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yes, thousands. Well, hey,
Because
if
hundreds is a regular Holiday Inn stay.
no, I mean, when you say hundreds, I can say 700-800s. Those still hundreds.
Okay.
And per person per day, that's a lot.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
999
If you're a couple, now you're at 14
We'll just see, because more or less they're probably going to pull out packs like they usually do.
packs of what?
Like Disney, they always pull out
Oh, the
any
passes and stuff. Okay,
packs and all that.
maybe.
To try and get
Maybe.
people to have the full experience, but
Think about it,
also...
though. You're in Tatooine.
That'd be
That's
great.
priceless.
Well, I don't know if I want to
No,
be
I
dealing
don't
with all
think
the
they
sand,
would.
but yeah.
I think it's more like you'll probably be like on like a space station kind of like stuff from concept
On the
photos.
Death Star.
That'd be great.
Yes,
That
would.
I will stay on the Death Star.
I would too.
Like I
Yes.
said, I would only do it just to dress
Then
up
I would dress up
for
as,
Star
the
Wars
Emperor.
stuff, but the whole AI robotic stuff really does not go
Call me
well.
Palpatine.
Oh, okay, then dibs
I'll
on
be
Han
Palpatine.
Solo.
I do hope. Do we
No, I'll
get?
get to Han
I
Solo.
wonder if you can actually just do like random like lightsaber fights. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. that's
Come on, fully interactive.
You're
They gotta have
Padawan.
that.
yeah, but that's random battles. I don't know if they're gonna have battles in a Disney park, but we'll see.
Oh, they have. Yeah, of course they have.
Do they?
You remember
Yeah.
that video of the little kids with the lightsabers, and then Darth Vader comes in to the little girl and expecting the little girl to fight him, and the little girl kneels.
Oh, I think
That
I
is
did
such
see,
a
yeah.
good video.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
That was a long time
it's,
ago.
It's a resort.
that's
so-
proudest moment. Little girl kneeling to Darth
To Darth
Vader.
Vader.
Yes.
Well, he's the best
I'd be
one.
proud,
Screw
too.
the rebels. Give me the Sith Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
through the rebels
it's a
come.
resort though, so anything can
Yeah,
happen.
resort,
You gotta
lots of
start
money.
Fucking Endor now with the Jaguars.
With the You
Wrong
mean
with
the
the child,
Ewoks.
what's wrong with the
What's wrong
Ewoks?
with you, dude?
It's just in Disney has taken over California, Florida, and Shanghai.
Yes.
There you go.
They've had control of it. My last piece of news. Telltale's released their summer 2017 update announcing what they have plans. First one on the way. Batman Season 2, The Enemy Within.
Interesting.
Wasn't the first one not very good though?
The first
or had
one...
mixed feelings with it.
Well, I haven't played it.
It was good. It was good.
The-
It's just it was that type of
It's the
Telltale.
engine.
I think
That's the problem. The engine
a lot
was
of
the
people had
issue.
buggy
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Lacking,
Yeah, the engine.
Yeah.
Now, that said, everybody did, or most people seem to really enjoy the story. So the first episode of Season 2 will launch on August 8th, and it will feature new villains like one called John Doe.
John Doe.
John
That
Doe.
sounds as
Wow,
exciting
that
as generic man.
Yes.
That's generic man
That
in the
old
Batman
classic
world.
guy, yeah.
Or the Mary Sue.
Or the Jingler.
Very the Chingler.
That's really around the corner. I would think like they would
Yeah.
bring maybe like an older game back.
No, they don't do that stuff. So Telltale Games will also release the second season of The Wolf Among
There
Us.
you go.
No.
But that's in 2018.
No way.
Yes.
No way. They literally said last week, don't expect Wolf Among Us and Minecraft.
They're just trying
Minecraft?
to.
Yeah, Minecraft.
They're just
story.
trying to get you out of the. Well, they've already doing season 2 of Minecraft.
Yeah,
They're also doing season 2 of
Yeah.
Minecraft?
They-
Fucking liars.
No, they've
I hate
actually.
you, Telltale. I hate you.
No, they've actually. They could have been a bad spokesperson too, because they've actually mentioned Minecraft season 2 a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while back. I've known for a while they're gonna do, and it just
Yeah.
came out like not too long ago.
Yeah.
What, season 2?
Season 2.
Yeah.
Season 2 of Minecraft is out.
Unless they're talking about like a season 3 or something. If
Yeah.
it is, then I can
They
understand.
could be.
Well, yeah.
Which that has not been announced. But yes, Wolf Among Us will come out next
Wolf
year.
Among Us, though, that's great. That was a great.
I agree.
DLC. Yeah.
I agree. It was a
Any
good one.
other Telltale
And yes,
games?
finally, they teased that The Walking Dead will hit its 4th and final season,
Oh, yay.
ending Clementine's story.
Finally.
Oh,
And
great.
sir, whatever. That's a great
'Cause
freaking story.
I heard that
Where's the Avengers one? They
I
said
don't
they
want
was going to
the
make
Avengers
one.
Because
don't
I
care about
heard
that.
the New Frontier was good, but I heard some mishaps with it.
I'm still gonna play it
yeah.
because I love honestly nothing so far will probably live up to season 1. Season 1 was the shit. Season 2 was great, but it did not. It didn't reach that level of there were great moments. I mean, like awesome moments, but overall, it just didn't reach that level. I do want to play season 3. I was watching because there's a video update that they released, and it started going into season 3 because it kind of. And I advise you, if you're gonna go look at this online, if you have not played anything, they are not holding back in any of these updates. You don't know anything, they're gonna spoil the shit out of you. You know what I mean? So be warned.
Or in other words, big spoiler.
Yes,
alert.
big spoiler alert on that. So I stopped when they started talking about season 2 because I realized, holy crap, they're gonna freaking do the same thing they just did season 1, season 2. So I didn't get to see the rest of the video, but I am definitely interested because I love Clementine, bro. I mean, I don't know if you've played season 1.
I played up to episode 3.
You
I
played
watched
season 1.
you play it.
Season 1.
Yeah, I watched you play season 1.
So season 1 is Clementine, and you are following her as she grows up in the apocalypse. You know what I mean? And that's a harsh, scenery to be living in. So I think I follow it, and I'm really want to play it. That also, unfortunately, will be coming out in 2018. So, but yeah.
Hello, everyone, over at the Mouthful podcast. This is the one, the only Chaos Reaper. I'm here to tell it like I see it and address the hot topic of the week. Am I addicted to video games? The reality is that I have been. At some point in my life, I was playing World of Warcraft, and it was the only thing I could think of. Every breathing second, that was the only thing on my mind was World of Warcraft. But dungeons I had to run, what I could do to progress my character, when I could do the raid, what I had to do to get more gold, anything, everything was World of Warcraft. It was like this for months. I don't know if it was at least a year. It might have been. And it got to a point it was affecting my work. It was affecting work. It was affecting my relationship. And I stopped. I realized it. And I stopped. Something happened that made me realize it. And I stopped. I canceled the subscription. I deleted the game from my computer. And I just flat out stopped playing World of Warcraft. Now I have a much better control of my video game. How I manage my time versus, work, school, my relationship. Lucky for me, the games that I now play, my fiance plays as well. So, that helps. That it really does help a lot. So that's my story. It can be addicting. It's all about time management. And, we all enjoy games, some more than others. So, like I said, it's all about time management. So those are my thoughts about it. That's my experience with video game addiction. I'm pretty sure this happened to other people. Some others worse than others. I hope that none of us have to go through that again. And if we do, we can identify it early enough so you can work on the situation. So that's it for me, guys. Have a good weekend. Thanks for the awesome podcast and the chance for me to share my thoughts about it. So have a good one, guys. GG.
All right, guys, we're going to go right into our hot topic of the week. This week, it's a little bit more of a serious topic. Essentially, there's a new article that got posted by Polygon. And it was a psychologist that went on record stating, Dr. Anthony Bean, a licensed clinical psychologist in Texas. He thinks the idea of video game addiction is misguided at best and dangerous at worst. And so he goes on to kind of list why it seems to be that many doctors, and this is when we're talking about this, we're talking about this worldwide. This is not specific to the U.S. Fact is, the U.S. is not even on the top of the list of that, believe it or not. No. And what they're trying to do is pathologize it, basically add it to the medical journals, make it an actual thing.
An actual condition.
A condition that needs to be treated, cured.
Kind of like alcoholism or drug abuse.
Correct.
Or like that.
The issue there is that there's what the psychologist is saying.
On par with drug use and all that at this point.
Addiction, overall addiction. It's an actual, basically there's something with it that causes, that is addictive. Like, for instance, smoking. The nicotine is an addiction. Your body, when you smoke, you start getting used to having nicotine in your system. After time passes and you stop for whatever reason, your body now acts up, basically. It starts to react to the fact that you don't have the nicotine in your system.
The constant action of it. You're doing it all the time.
Correct, but the actual
and the whole relaxation method that comes with it.
True. But that's all mental in the sense that your body's is reacting to the fact that it's basically you're going through withdrawal by not having this chemical in your body. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's proven. We know that. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. There's no real chemical. There's no real. In short, what he says is that there's no real studies that have been done to prove that video games are addictive. Because that's the whole point. That level. The level where if you stop playing a video game, suddenly your body starts to react in a certain way where it appears to be withdrawal. Right. You know what I mean? And there's violent withdrawal. I mean, anybody who's ever smoked, I used to smoke. I can tell you right now, when you don't have a cigarette, you're not feeling well. You know what I mean? You're not feeling well. So I honestly, anyway, that's what the topic is. I threw it out there for a lot of people. It frustrated some people. Which we're gonna play. We do have another audio message from another group member, Mr. Giovanni, aka Sparrow Wolf, and we'll play that in a little bit here. But I want to get your opinions overall on the topic. Go ahead.
Start first. first.
Mr. Dreamy Twister, what do you think overall of this alleged video game addiction problem that we have?
It's funny that you mentioned the fact that studies haven't found that video game addiction is on the level to where it has to be pathologized as a something that needs to be treated.
Mm-hmm. An ailment,
exactly like an actual ailment, like we said with the smoking and stuff like that. I do believe there is such a thing as gaming addiction.
Oh yeah,
gaming addiction it is something that, and I'm gonna go a little personal here. It is something that I currently experience in my life. And you mentioned, sometimes there are some things that they don't show like symptoms of withdrawal. I can tell you, well, not in the level of feeling sick, but in the level of changing your behavior. Mm-hmm. It is very real. And I'll give you a few examples and something that I got to experience. And so it's something that I'm certainly dealing with, through some, pressure releases like this podcast is, for example, and like our group is, and like chatting with people, is that it used to be a lot worse before. Mm-hmm. The problem in my case was that I felt like there was, I wasn't super, I was a very social person, mm-hmm. But it was hard for me to establish those social links,
relationships.
Yes, exactly. So, so because of that, I was, my youth was a little bit on the introverted mm-hmm. side, and there's a lot of things that I feel like I was good at, except on gaming, I always was good at, not in the sense that I was a great gamer, but more in the sense that, there was a mission. Mm-hmm. Well, there was a mission. There was something that I had to do here. And I was able to fulfill, the mission, whether it was rescuing the princess from the castle or whatever mm-hmm. Was the mission. So games to me, they kind of offered a temporary escape. I didn't have a bad childhood. I could actually, say that I've been blessed with having, a good upbringing, mm-hmm. But it was the level, that social level was the part that was always a little bit difficult for me. So games, I always find that escapism in games. You have to understand that games to me were social also, because not only I have my friends, most of my friends have all been, gamers. Mm-hmm. But also nowadays you can just meet online and that's how you, yes, that's how you play. That's how you, and you meet people also, and people even get married and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Games offer me that challenge, whether I could have actually been challenging myself in more productive ways, like studying, for example. I wasted it away in just, playing more games that actually taking care of the real things. That's why I did not do very well in college. Actually, it was a little bit, it took me a while for me to get my degree, because the first one I was just pretty much goofing off, basically. And I felt like a loser on that part. Like, I was 22, 23, already. And I felt like I was falling so behind. Whereas with games, I didn't have that problem, because with games, it always offered me that constant measurable growth. I can see progress, I could see like immediate rewards to my efforts, wherever they was. And, there were achievements, basically, measurable achievements. Mm-hmm. That was something that it kind of filled the void of everything else that will be in my life. I will have my relationships or or whatever, but whenever something will fail or something bad will be, I will always bring it back to gaming. Also, it didn't help that gaming became my thing that I would do immediately when I was bored.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I watch literally zero TV, and there's a part of me that is that I like. I suppose, and I like to feel proud of it. It's like I don't waste time watching TV. No, but it's because I am playing games. Well, not now as much. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm married. I have a lovely wife that has been very, even though she's totally not a gamer whatsoever, she has been very supportive of the things that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And here with the group and all that. So and she doesn't play. She understands that, hey, as long as there's a balance, because that was my problem before. I felt like there was no balance. There was a point in my life that I had to like lay down my cards and tables and accept that I was wasting my time away.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the hardest part for me. Coming to that decision, it had to be a moment where. And I don't mean to be the only person talking.
No, that's fine. This is a first-hand account. This is what we need.
That's why I said you to take the mic.
It came to a point where gaming it felt more like a trap. It felt more like the thing that I was doing. Yes, I was enjoying it a lot. I never done drugs in my life. I don't know how that high feels. I never touched nothing,
Mm-hmm.
I smoked at some point, and I was able to drop it like nothing. So I always thought that I was impervious to addiction. Yeah, exactly. I took on having drinks every now and then, but socially, I never, like, to this day, I was, I believe it was the other day that I was joking around with you. It's like, yeah, man, I like beer, but I don't feel like I need to have one when I come back from work. It's like, I don't need to go to the store and buy a stick or anything like that, because it's not that level. I think I usually have beers over here, and I don't have none at home.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give you another vice.
You'll be my enabler on that front.
Trying to help you live a long and happy, healthy life.
Exactly. So,
hopefully.
But the thing is that it was feeling like a trap, because it was no longer controlled. It was no longer, I wasn't saying, because it's different, right? If, let's say if I was an athlete and I was playing basketball, I was really good at basketball, and I was playing basketball because I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing, but I'll be obsessed with basketball. I will do nothing, to the detriment of my family and my friends. That's something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it goes downhill, and.
Correct. Well, I mean, an addiction, because even, alcoholics, there are functioning alcoholics, people who drink all the time.
Yeah.
And they go to work, they do whatever they have to do, they live life regularly, but they're always drunk.
Yeah.
They are functioning alcoholics. So if it can be proven that gaming can be addicting to the point where you start to not do the necessary requirement things that you need to do in life, then that, obviously there can also be a way of saying, there's a functioning addiction to gaming as well.
Yes.
Because if there's one for an actual problem like alcoholism, then there should be one for this one as well. So not that I'm trying to say that that's probably where you were at or anything like that.
No,
but I do have to agree, and I have to point out that chemically that we're able to see, how alcohol, nicotine, drugs, claim and start to do that. The problem with this is it seems there's a rush to put it onto this map without doing the necessary research to make sure that it's not something else. Something as simple as, hey, is there something going on in your life that you're trying to avoid?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because believe it or not, that's how a lot of drugs start. You know what I mean?
And alcoholism, yeah.
Yeah. You go right into those drugs because or alcohol because you're trying to avoid something in life. Now, the drug and alcohol itself is addictive. And now you're stuck into it. You know what I mean? Once you're trying to move away what the problem is.
Well, some might argue, however, that games could have that effect of that addictive effect in the sense that
the dopamine.
Exactly. On that alone, I'm describing my case where when I was in a relationship, for example, I will. Just the idea that I had to interrupt playing my StarCraft because I needed to take time away from it and go visit my girlfriend, for example, that would put me in a mood immediately. I was not happy about that, and I have learned to recognize sometimes, even up to today, when we're having our conversations when we walk around the building at work, and the first thing I say is like, man, I was not able to put an hour of gaming last night. It's like, but then I like later on when I'm thinking about our conversation, I'm thinking like, but why? Why is that an issue? So what? I didn't play last night.
Another thing where you can say is, well, what did you do?
Yeah, exactly.
What
exactly. But it feels like I could watch the most awesome movie, but then I didn't play, so it doesn't have the same feeling.
Impact,
yeah. It's something that to this day I struggle. Still. Thank goodness, it's not a bad. Like I said, I have a lot of support. You guys have been very supportive on that because I've seen your guys' examples. And I see people in the group, and I also remember I think the thing that opened my eyes was a couple of 7 years ago, I would say, where I had a relationship with this woman, and we had, she has children, and I was madly in love with her. I mean, she had 4 kids, and I was with her, so of course I was madly in love with her. not to judge or anything, but the thing is that one day I just showed her casually a game that I was playing. I was having fun. I was having a good time with World of Warcraft. Hey, look, you can make your own character. And that's the thing that I wanted to show her. Just, you can
the character creator, yeah.
Character creator.
The thing that sucks us up real for an hour before we even play the game.
She fell in love with that, with the character creator and just making her character. So, and then that took her into showing the character in the world and being able to do all these things that you could do in World of Warcraft. And it became like a slippery slope where it will eventually bring her to be one of the most hardcore World of Warcraft players that I have met in real life, to the point of her owning her own World of Warcraft guild, or having, like, back in the day, not World of Warcraft is kids play, but back in the day, she had like having 4 level 60 characters or levels 70 or 80 characters. They kept increasing them. That was a big deal. That meant you spent a lot of time on the game. She raided. She did all these things that I never did on the game because I was never that level of attracted to it. It was just World was a thing where it was fun, to play, but I was never to that. And she started neglecting stuff around the house. And the next thing, and it was taking it to the next step. Now, the kids weren't doing as well in school. Because now, in order to not have to worry about taking care of the kids, she will get them their own accounts so they can play on the different computers, with her. It became sort of like a babysitting now, for the kids. And I was looking this coming into, devolving into like, oh my God, what have I created? This is madness. This person literally didn't know how to hold a gamepad. He literally grabbed it upside down. And that sounds like a joke, but she literally grabbed it upside down. And now she's like talking online, yeah. And having this, having these raids until like whatever in the morning, and I'll be the one waiting in bed like, The fuck? This is supposed to be the other way around.
In other words, you created a monster. How dare you?
Yes, it was all my fault. That didn't last. But that was eye opening. That's when I realized that I don't want to become that. I don't want to become that. So nowadays I play games for, obviously for the story, for entertainment. Every now and then I catch myself like having that feeling of like, man, I gotta go home and edit this podcast when what I really want to do is just go and play Nier. I want to finish Nier.
See,
stuff like that.
I'm glad
but
I don't have to say that. But I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's a real thing. I don't want this to be undermined by. Yes, is it every case? No. Most players are just like you said. They're functional gamers.
Functional gamers. Yeah.
Yeah, but. The addiction portion of it is very real.
It is real, and there's cases upon cases of that will show how bad it can get.
Yes, actually, a lot of cases. Yeah.
The one that actually caught my wife, who was not a gamer, but caught her by surprise was this was a couple years ago. Some parents, Chinese parents. And this is apparently very common in China. By the way, the biggest pushers of making this an ailment or a disease, and to make sure it gets into medical journals and all this across the world, especially the ICD system, is Asian countries, because right now it's prominent out there. There's a lot of people.
There's a lot. Well, there's a gaming culture there, which is
huge gaming culture.
Yeah,
and not only that,
they're not stigmatized there.
Yeah, no, not at all. And so the parents sold their children to essentially fund their gaming habit. And again, this is just one particular case. It happens to be one case that suddenly made it news over here, but it had already existed for years prior to it happening. So it was this weird thing. It was like, why are we hearing this now? But it's like, well, this is an issue.
There were cases here where there was a kid that gunned down his parents because the parents wouldn't let him play Halo 3.
There's also lots of cases in Asia where, because online gaming is such a big thing over there would be people who wouldn't date, wouldn't leave the home, would just be sitting in their own filth playing games.
Yeah, that's here too.
I see that's here too.
It's a very big issue over there.
The thing is that over there, because of the infrastructure is a little bit more advanced when it comes to these games, and gaming is not as stigmatized as it is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you hear the cases. There was this young lady that prostituted herself just to get 5,000 gold in World of Warcraft. Yeah. Which right now 5,000 gold is the tutorial level in World of Warcraft will give you that probably.
It is a real thing. I think personally there could be some underlying issues that kind of lead to that. But at the same time, I agree with the psychologist that it's irresponsible to just automatically tag it and not do the research, not do what's necessary to find out what the issue is, before making it this sickness. Because what happens there is what happens, and I'm not trying to compare. And for anybody who has this, I'm not trying to say it's not real, but there is a common thought right now that fibromyalgia is a BS disease where it's not real. It's you have aches and pains. We can't figure it out what it is because you who knows what it is. So we were labeling it as this. And then you start getting these pills that are made for this. And then now that's going to help you cure. And then the person becomes now, I don't want to say addicted to the drugs, but now they become reliant on these drugs because it's helping them with this thing, which may not even be real. And guess what? Guess what America does when it comes to sicknesses? They form a pill for it.
Yeah.
So one moment you create video game addictions, now you're handing out pills for it. And guess who are the ones who are labeled the video game kids?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, there are some adults, but kids are where the problem. Oh, the kid doesn't whatever. Now you're handing out drugs to kids to, you know what I'm saying? This is a big thing that will end up happening, which is another reason to have another drug out there and sell it for God knows how much. It's irresponsible to just label it at that, make it an ailment just to get to this point. They need to do the research, make sure there's not something else causing it or some other connection between the whatever. The point is they need to do their homework. Don't just jump to that being the cause of this, to just jump into making that a sickness just so we can have the cure. You know what I mean? And then right now they have camps all across America, all across the world, where they literally, you send your kids to the camp because they're addicted to games. You can just Google it. Google video game addiction camps.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
I believe you.
Yeah, and they're literally, they'll send their kids there because they're not, and I'm like, there's something else going on, guys. I you know what I mean. I just personally, I believe this is just my own personal belief.
Give my 2 cents here because I would like to say I'm not really. Because I don't really play video games much, because I've explained before that if I do, it's obsessively because of mental issues. So, but I know that my younger brother plays all the time.
All the time, yeah.
All the time. When he gets up till he goes to bed, and I'm like, and I tell
nothing
him,
else in between.
I tell him because it can wait. Nobody's gonna come in, steal stuff. They do. That's very unfortunate. But no one's. I'm like, because if you're not online match, complete that match, then go do this. It's not going anywhere.
Okay. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to introduce basically what one of our dear listeners.
Oh yes, Giovanni.
Giovanni has to say.
I want to hear what he says.
What up, GG? Sparrowwolf here from Nivel Escondido. Thank you for having my voice. It's a pleasure for me to finally be part of GG's The Mouthful podcast. Greetings to Mad Dog, Mr. Dream Twister, and Miss Shadow 24/7. Topic of the week was in regards of video games being addictive. Answering the question straightforward, the answer would be no. They're not addictive. You have individuals that get addicted to video games, but video games per se, I wouldn't say they're addictive. I've seen cases in the internet, we've made fun of them for years. Players that get fully addicted, once they are taken out of their element, they are angry and they are basically just throwing tantrums all over the place and whatnot. And obviously, a sane person, somebody that is not addicted, is not necessarily going to empathize with these people. They're just going to laugh their asses off because of their reactions. Now, do we miss our gaming when we're not around gaming? Yes, we do. But essentially, we have learned to step away from gaming, and it's perfectly fine. One thing is liking and being extremely fond of something, and another very different is being addicted. Now, the term addicted it's usually tied to negativity, and the article in which the hot topic of the week was inspired essentially brought negativity to the industry that we love so much. Now, let me just give you a few bullet points on this from my perspective. First of all, when I was a child, video games were basically my refuge. Video games and Legos. This is something very personal. I don't mind sharing it, hence I'm sharing it with everybody that listens to The Mouthful. I cannot see through my left eye, all right? I was born with a condition that doesn't come to the case right now. But anyhow, I found my place with video games. I could not play sports like any other regular kid would just to protect my one eye that would function. So I would rather just spend my time safely, quote unquote, right in front of a TV playing video games. Now, that gave me a different perspective of things. I have to say that at a certain moment in time in my life, and I think that was just part of my DNA, because I remember that whenever I was playing maybe Mario and I would die, I would pull my hair. I'm saying like 5 years old, 6 years old, and my dad and my mom would come like, hey, if you want to keep on playing, you can't do that. You know, you have to develop patience. You're going to get good eventually and blah, blah, blah. And this is true. I mean, it helped me, at least from my end, in terms of developing patience. When I was a teenager, especially, those anger issues would still be around. And video games helped me, you know, bring down my attitude, my own character under control. Now, still as an adult, some games are still help me check in and keep everything at base. I'm talking about playing games like Dark Souls, Neo, Bloodborne, even Super Meat Boy. You know, I would play them to try to relax and to make sure that I remain patient among the turmoil of something that throws you completely off and makes you want to quit. You don't. You just keep on going because life is like that. Another important thing, all right? People claim that video games are not good for society. Well, I don't know under which rock they're living, because right now we have colleges offering scholarships through esports. Right now we have people earning thousands of dollars just playing video games for entertainment purposes, for viewing pleasure of the audience. Enter Twitch. We have people like extra lifers playing to heal kids for charity, all right? And we have people doing charity all over the place, not necessarily through Extra Life. I know that Twitch at a certain moment in time plays for the St. Jude's, particularly St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and thousands of dollars are donated for these kids through gaming. So anybody that try to bring the industry that we love so much down, anybody that tries to demote our thoughts in this, let's just displace their silly comments and just keep on positive about gaming, because we do know what they do. Maybe educate them if we can, help them understand where gaming comes from, how it actually works, how these wonderful things are happening through gaming. Thank you for having me in the GG's Mouthful podcast, people. Sparrow signing off. Take care. Again, greetings from Nivel Escondido. Thank you so much for the love and support. And as always,
Azúcar!
Good stuff, Gio. Good stuff.
Great, yeah. I gotta be honest, Gio, in the interest of time, I am gonna cut you a little bit. However, I promise that at the end of the show, I will play your podcast fully for those who are interested, because you brought up some excellent
Absolutely.
points.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And I will feel very guilty after you said that cut me.
Especially the hand-eye coordination.
Yes.
Because I know that they use a lot of games for the military, especially shooters.
Mm-hmm.
They even make shooters based off the military. Like, the military helps out with those shooters. Like, some recent Call of Duties have been doing that.
Yeah, teaches strategy, how to infiltrate.
It helps with depression, one of which I have.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I play games, not as much, but it does help.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
helps
it's
get out of whatever.
Yeah, there are definite benefits to it. And I think what he's trying to point out, which is it's kind of what I was trying to say as well, is that sometimes there are already underlining issues that may cause you to have an addictive personality that can just find something to be addicted to, essentially.
Like, the issue would be more on, you know, like you said, he's right. Like, games aren't like video games themselves. It's not the issue. It's the addictive. It could be. It could be. That's the thing. We don't know. We need to do.
Well, we gotta find out. I mean, we have to make a differentiation here, because that could sound like saying, "Oh, alcoholism doesn't exist." It's, you know, the alcohol is not addictive. Is the person?
No, yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying. The difference there is that the research has been done to confirm that the alcohol is actually an addictive substance as well.
Because they had a lot of stigma between violent video games make people violent, because there have been
cases,
things that happen where people would go crazy killing people, and then they'll blame it on the video game because that's the last thing that
they were into or something like that.
Well, one thing we have to understand, and this topic is going to run a little bit longer but it's very important.
Well, it's a very, very serious, very important that we've all dealt with.
Is that everybody has different thresholds of addiction. I tried smoking, and it did nothing for me. It did absolutely nothing. I was able to cut it like I wouldn't even say cold turkey because I stopped, but it didn't feel like I was making any effort. I was just, well, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I had no problem with it. You, on the other hand, had a different a scenario with. I was actually able to experience, secondhand to the person that I was dating back then. She used to be a smoker, and she was trying to quit. And until that, I always thought that, man, this is just ridiculous. This is before I actually learned that you were a smoker back then, Mad Dog. This is you just have to have willpower. Come on, you just have to stop. You don't want to. Well, I saw the effects firsthand, those withdrawal symptoms, and they were like I was feeling like I was needed to trying to put a fire down. This person was in a state of trauma, basically. It was very difficult for her. It was very difficult. It let me get some respect for something that I thought, you know what, is this is cigarettes are not addictive. It's people, there's some people that can't go without drinking coffee. I love coffee. I don't need to have coffee and suddenly have a major headache. There are some people that happens. It's
a chemical reaction. And
that's because caffeine's the biggest addiction ever.
Well, and therefore it makes it.
That's also why. Side note: why people who try and be healthy, who've been eating junk food and sweets for a long time, it's hard to wean them off of that because
the body's used to it. It's a chemical reaction. What it comes down to is your body is used to having something all the time. And the reason I can say it with the smoking thing is I smoked for years. I've had my first cigarette at 11. I was a regular smoker at 13, 14 years old. Okay. It's ridiculous how easy you can get cigarettes back then in the Bronx. You know what I mean? As a kid. So when you're that, when you start that young and you go into your 20s and now you're heading into your 30s and you're 33 and now you decide to say, okay, I'm done. I got to do this. That's a problem. That's a problem because now it is almost hardwired into you at this point. You know what I mean? That's where the change comes in, and that's where it's really, really. I mean, obviously, it would have been difficult, a shorter time as well, but this was a very, very long time, and it's with anything. Was this oh gosh, it was a documentary, Super Size Me, right? Super Size Me. He went and he was having fast food, McDonald's and all this stuff every day, 3 days a meal, whatever. And then he stopped, and his body suddenly with the withdrawals. And it's like, how can this be? It's just food. Why is his body acting that way? It is a chemical reaction and it's the same thing. It can be the same thing with video games. As you said, this dopamine effect, which that's what that is. That's why when you think of somebody who's addicted to gaming, it generally is that online experience. They have had movies.
That is a chemical reaction that's happening inside of you.
Correct.
You're not taking a narcotic, but
you're having a reaction.
Yeah.
And I can say I have an addictive person. I know that. I know that about me because I can easily become addicted to something else. You know what I mean? So I have to keep things
Marvel
in check.
Movies.
I'm
kidding.
So I have to keep things in check, and I have to I have to force myself to keep things in check.
Addiction. This is one thing to clarify. Addiction. There's no good connotation of addiction. If you look at the definition of addiction, and I did, it says that it's a state of being enslaved to a habit or practice or to something that is physiological or physically habit forming. So you're forming that habit. It gives an example of narcotics, but as we know, you could get addicted to anything that you actually, end up creating that chemical reaction inside of you.
Makes you feel good.
To such an extent that the cessation of it causes trauma. And
you mean the lack of?
Well, the lack of the cessation of it. If you stop, exactly. So when you say, I can play I can stop playing anytime and it won't cause any problem. You know, we're not talking about that games are evil. We're not saying that, because that'll be like saying anything is evil. Reading is evil. There are some people that spend forever, in library books and read and do it a lot. That's the part where I'll say, well, no, I wouldn't classify it as a pathological problem, but I do recognize that, hey, there is an addiction on that, because you are doing it because it's grieving you. There is that level of pleasure that is bringing you.
Honestly, it's all about, because we get to immerse ourselves in a world that isn't real life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
This is what I'm saying.
You escape.
We get to relax, escape everything that we dealt with just out the window.
Correct. Yeah. And I think that sometimes you have to. Honestly. That's why I still go back to what the psychologist was bringing up, and I still lean on that, saying we need more. We need, you can't just rush it to that, because we need to make sure how this is linked. Yes. Because if it's escapism, there's many forms of escapism. That doesn't mean you're addicted to whatever it is you're doing. You're just trying to escape. You're just trying to get away from whatever the problems are. And sometimes it's not serious. I mean, it doesn't have to be like physical child abuse that you're trying to, get away from. It could be something as simple as, my life has no meaning. Hey, I just go to work every day. I don't do anything else.
I have problems socializing. So
correct.
Hey, that was my problem.
That was,
honestly,
and what I'm saying.
The only reason ever, like, if you actively see me on, more or less because I'm playing with somebody.
Yeah,
I do not play my PS4 unless I'm playing with somebody.
Yeah. So that means it could be the form of connecting. That's another thing. A form of connecting to people anonymously. Yeah. Because you feel. It feels different than being someone.
This is how you recognize this is bad for you. And if you guys could close with this, the moment that gaming start becoming your thing, your go-to thing to do, to the detriment of anything else, your family, your friends, your grades, at school, your work. That's when it becomes an issue. Mm-hmm. Now, we might not have a lot of cases here, and again, it doesn't need to have a pill for it.
Correct.
But that said, do recognize that it is a problem. It is something that I see firsthand. It's something that I live as of today, I
think we all seen it firsthand.
And in a way or
in one way or another.
Yeah. So if it's killing something, if it's destroying something, if it's suddenly, you have an issue.
The questions that need to be asked at that point is: if you're in school, are you successful in school? Are you doing are your grades correct? Or is your mind completely floating to something else?
Yes.
When you're at work, are you a good worker? Are you working the way you should be to as whatever job needs you to work?
Yeah.
Are you
neglecting your...
Correct. Are you paying your bills? Mm-hmm. Are you taking that money that should go to your bill to pay for whatever your addiction is? That's when it's gotten to that point where, okay, now you're starting to hurt yourself or people around you.
We should start more towards the little ones, because everyone, in order to
God, you nailed it.
To not interact, like, here's my phone, or here's TV.
Yes,
it starts with them.
Absolutely.
I know, because my niece, she was over constantly. Oh, Grandma, can I have your phone? Oh, Titi, can I have your phone? I'm like, no, you're going outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kids need interaction. They don't need entertainment. Mm-hmm. They don't need an iPad.
Because with us, I mean, I know you guys are
not that the iPad's bad. And not that it can't be something you can do every so often as you would do anything else. Any other interaction or any other, game or just going outside and throwing the football around for a little bit. Just as you're not going to sit there and throw football for 7 hours straight, right? So you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't allow that to happen either.
I mean, I know you guys are older than me, but we all three of us have at least went outside and played for like a few hours.
Yeah.
Hell, I do that every Thanksgiving for football.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say Pokemon Go. I went outside.
For that too.
I still go outside because, it's nice outside. When you go outside, you feel like a breath of fresh air compared to your stuffy home.
Definitely. So I want to quickly just go through some of the comments that we had. Actually, a lot of freaking comments to this topic.
Good. That's
so
how we
I'm
know
glad.
it's a good topic.
Yeah, it's a good
got
topic.
a good topic.
Ramiro chimes in. I'll just say let me say that again. I'll just say that it's all about priorities. I've been gaming for most of my life and never had a problem just because of it.
I agree. I have known Ramiro for most of his childhood, actually, and I can vouch for the fact that he was huge in gaming. He still is, but yeah, you can see
puts it
he's
in his place.
well-together individual.
It's called priorities. And
Prioritizing.
I
doing your
agree.
schedules right.
Tenfold. Yeah.
Great. Jason says, oh, no, that's not what he said. No, he says,
oh, no, we can't say that on air.
No, because he put his hot topic of the week, and that's how hot is Jason?
For next one, we'll do that.
We'll do that for next week. No, he says, of course, I'm addicted to video games. Video games are a lifestyle I choose to live. I rather spend my money on a video game addiction than a drug addiction. So
That's
there you go.
Again, functioning
He
a
has
functioning
a point
addict.
there.
As long as just make sure that it's not something that becomes it takes over your life.
Yeah, exactly.
If it takes over your life, that'll be just as bad.
Chakron says, I blame my brother, Oscar Chacon Rodriguez, and he throws his whole name out there, guys.
Wow. You just repeated it.
Yeah. To have me on PC gaming back when Doom, Duke Nukem, Hexen, Legacy of Kain, and believe it or not, Diablo. Then I was growing up looking at some high-tech stuff back in the day. I kept it up for years, and about 5 years back, I decided to buy games again, collecting action figures and everything. And now he, of course, is creating the Bunker, which is our gaming haven.
The GG Bunker.
So yes, he goes
Gamers
on
Anonymous. Right.
He's our
He does say that
he's our go-to.
correct. Yeah, he does say that he also shouts out his girlfriend and wife. I think maybe are they married? They are married. Oh,
Yeah.
so Vanessa, and without her, he wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff. So obviously, he has a great relationship.
He
there.
has a
That
good
definitely
support.
helps
Yeah,
out.
he has good support. Yeah, instead
Definitely.
of somebody yelling at it, why do you play so many games?
Yeah.
Why do you...
Exactly.
That's
Anti-gamer.
when you introduce him to the cure. Play.
Yeah, there's a difference. You said that. There's a difference between a non-gamer and an anti-gamer.
And then yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? My wife is a non-gamer.
My wife is a non-gamer. Yes.
Honestly, though, but that Firewatch video was the most hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Thing
I'm
I
not
saw.
gonna lie. Yes, it was pretty funny. She played some Firewatch, and it was hilarious.
You can tell that there's no coordination.
No, zero, because she can't do the sticks. That's what it is.
Time controls.
Yes. Bad Panda finally puts in, addicted to games? No, I don't think I haven't played anything that has gotten me hooked. I run through games like water now. If it's a game I enjoy, yeah, I can put in some hours. And if some friends are on a game, even better. Now, hardware is a different story.
What?
Hardware.
Oh,
It's a different
yes.
story. Because he loves to tinker.
Oh, yes.
I've taken things apart.
I'm on your cam, Bad Panda.
He
I
said-
am on your
He
cam.
said, I think I've taken things apart since the Atari and his VCR. He built his own PC out of old used parts back when he was like 12.
Nice.
He ran Windows 98 on it and made it up to XP.
My man.
Yeah, very, very good, sir. Very good. Overall, he said, always have time for friends and family. There's nothing better than having a good conversation with a cold one with someone you love.
Amen.
And honestly, I think we're going to close on that
That's
comment.
it.
That was a
We
great
can close
comment to
it right
close
there.
on right
Yep.
there. Again, go to goodgame.tech, join the conversation there. Obviously, these are the type of conversations that we join. Yes, we have silly conversations as well, but we try to keep it serious every so often.
Yep.
And as always, if you're listening to this on any of the podcast services out there or YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. This is Mad Dog, aka Arnaldo Martin, signing off this week. Mr. David Santos.
I just want to clarify for those of you, don't be worrying about me. I'm actually a recovering gameaholic. No. In all seriousness, this is a topic that the moment I read that article, I kind of wanted to bring out because I don't think it has been something that I have let out
about. Yeah,
that maybe I mentioned it, but it's also always good to bring this stuff, out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
The first step is acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
and no, this is not me saying, I'm going to quit gaming or anything like that. I actually researched a lot of YouTube videos on the topic, and I always heard a lot of people saying how bad it was for them that they actually had to quit. They actually had to quit
gaming.
And it was I never took it as, oh, that's ridiculous. I always, I respected that because first, I'm not a person, I didn't know what they went through. They're just, the way they're telling me, it sounded pretty bad. And I see them now doing these talks and moving on with their lives. And that's fantastic. Thank goodness it hasn't been that level of bad for me. I knew early on that I needed to avoid getting it to that portion. And I game. And I try to game every day. If I can, I might put an hour, I might put 2 hours. And I'm happy with that. I don't need to be playing 7 hours. I don't need to be getting super competitive or anything like that. If I get the chance, yeah, sure. But if that's got to be like if there's nothing else. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this particular topic, and let us know if you guys wanted us to touch on anything, serious, anything of that level, because this is a topical podcast.
Yeah,
this
exactly. It's conversational. Exactly. We're all about here conversing.
We always want to talk.
Definitely. Miss Shadow, anything else for us?
Well, I don't bite, so people can always talk to
Find
me.
her on the interwebs.
I will talk to anything about anything.
Where can I find you?
She is Shadow 24/7.
She is the Shadow 24/7.
Now,
that's right.
the truth is you can't find her, but she'll find you.
That's a bit stalkerish much, but yes.
Lastly, real quick before I go, I do want to give a shout out again to Nivel Escondido. That is another game group. They've got their webpage.
You heard that sultry, sexy voice
of Gio.
Of Gio. That's what you get to hear.
Very manly. Yes.
How would you like?
On top of that, you get to hear him in Spanish, which
exactly.
That's where it's at.
We need to have Gio here. We need
to have him.
Oh. It's gonna be like late night.
It is. Yes. Oh yes, late night with Gio.
GG after hours.
With Sparrow Wolf.
GGG. One of the G's is for Gio.
We all need to have us get together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now and play something again. I don't know what.
Overcooked.
Okay, that's a 4-player game. But I don't know, but all of us need to get together, play something, maybe some.
Definitely. Some Overwatch. I know you want some Overwatch.
I haven't been playing much.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny. Because it's been really tedious.
Oh, and by the way, the Destiny 2 beta came out. All right. Thank you.
That too.
And lastly, Cheap Seats and the Stickman podcast, once again, on YouTube. Check them out.
Yes.
This is Arnaldo again signing off. We'll see you guys next week. GG!
What up, GG? Sparrowwolf here from Nivel Escondido. Thank you for having my voice. It's a pleasure for me to finally be part of GG's The Mouthful podcast. Greetings to Mad Dog, Mr. Dreamy Twister, and Miss Shadow 24/7. Topic of the week was in regards of video games being addictive. Answering the question straightforward, the answer would be no. They're not addictive. You have individuals that get addicted to video games, but video games per se, I wouldn't say they're addictive. I've seen cases in the internet, we've made fun of them for years. Players that get fully addicted, once they are taken out of their element, they are angry and they are basically just throwing tantrums all over the place and whatnot. And obviously, a sane person, somebody that is not addicted, is not necessarily going to empathize with these people. They're just going to laugh their asses off because of their reactions. Now, do we miss our gaming when we're not around gaming? Yes, we do. All right. At a certain moment in time, many of us owned or still own a portable device for gaming that we would just pop out whenever some conversations got boring or something like that. But most of us that grew up already just left that behind. Many of us, unless our commute doesn't involve driving, maybe you are a user of the bus, or you hop on the train or something like that to commute. Your hands are free, so why not use some time to gaming prior or after work? That'd be amazing. But essentially, we have learned to step away from gaming, and it's perfectly fine. One thing is liking and being extremely fond of something, and another very different is being addicted. Now, the term addicted it's usually tied to negativity, and the article in which the hot topic of the week was inspired essentially brought negativity to the industry that we love so much. Now, let me just give you a few bullet points on this from my perspective. First of all, when I was a child, video games were basically my refuge. Video games and Legos. This is something very personal. I don't mind sharing it. Hence, I'm sharing it with everybody that listens to the Mouthful. And I don't care. I cannot see through my left eye. All right? I was born with a condition that doesn't come to the case right now. But anyhow, I found my place with video games. I could not play sports like any other regular kid would, just to protect my one eye that would function. So I would rather just spend my time safely, quote unquote, right in front of a TV, playing video games. Now, that gave me a different perspective of things. I have to say that at a certain moment in time in my life, and I think that was just part of my DNA, because I remember that whenever I was playing maybe Mario and I would die, I would pull my hair. I'm saying like 5 years old, 6 years old, and my dad and my mom would come like, hey, if you want to keep on playing, you can't do that. You know, you have to develop patience. You're going to get good eventually and blah, blah, blah. And this is true. I mean, it helped me, at least from my end, in terms of developing patience. When I was a teenager especially, those anger issues would still be around. And video games helped me, bring down my attitude, my own character under control. Now, still as an adult, some games are still help me check in and keep everything at base. I'm talking about playing games like Dark Souls, Neo, Bloodborne, even Super Meat Boy. I would play them to try to relax and to make sure that I remain patient among the turmoil of something that throws you completely off and makes you want to quit. You don't. You just keep on going, because life is like that. Sometimes we face issues in life, and that's what aggravates me from people that claim that video games are not necessarily good for society and they're bad and they provoke some violence and whatnot, or you name whatever barbaric things these people would say, just to make sure that they have a case, I don't know with who. Now, going back to these people, they seem to forget that many of the important jobs, I'm talking about pilots, I'm talking about doctors, I'm talking about teachers, I'm talking about police officers, I'm talking about military personnel. They all have one thing in common, and I'm sorry if I didn't mention any other, but also go through this which I'm about to mention, and that is some kind of virtual experience, all right? Pilots, for example, they have these hours in flight simulators that count as flight hours, and god damn it, they are not even flying. They are inside a machine that simulates flying, hence VR, through virtual reality, which is a video game at its core. So all these people that claim, the military personnel, I was looking the other day at this very powerful laser gun that we now have, and by we I mean the United States Marines, that they're the owners of this technology. No, it was the Navy. Basically, you have this gun that seems taken out of I don't know, the top of the art comic book that you're reading, or any Marvel superhero movie. And the machine, it's real, it works, and it gets operated by 3 people in front of screens. So it's basically like playing Galaga. You know what I mean? If they hit that target, boom, the target is no more. But in real life, that is a video game. So these people always bringing negativity stuff, they don't really know how gaming really works. Also, they seem to forget that there is scientific studies that state that video games actually help psychomotor skills, particularly hand-eye coordination, and that these skills are transferable. That's why there's a lot of training through video games or video games equivalent or VR experiences, because eventually those skills can be transferred to real life. So that's just top of my head. Another important thing, all right, people claim that video games are not good for society. Well, I don't know under which rock they're living, because right now we have colleges offering scholarships through esports. Right now we have people earning thousands of dollars just playing video games for entertainment purposes, for viewing pleasure of the audience. Enter Twitch. We have people like extra lifers playing to heal kids for charity, all right? And we have people doing charity all over the place, not necessarily through Extra Life. I know that Twitch at a certain moment in time plays for the St. Jude's, particularly St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and thousands of dollars are donated for these kids through gaming. So anybody that try to bring the industry that we love so much down, anybody that tries to demote our thoughts in this, let's just displace their silly comments and just keep on positive about gaming, because we do know what they do. Maybe educate them if we can, help them understand where gaming comes from, how it actually works, how these wonderful things are happening through gaming. Thank you for having me in the GG's The Mouthful podcast, people. Sorry, I'm a teacher. I either write a lot or talk a lot. You don't have to play this all, okay? I know that you guys listen to this prior to the podcast. So if you think it's too long, don't play it. And if you play it, don't complain. Sparrow signing off. Take care. Again, greetings from Nivel Escondido. Thank you so much for the love and support. And as always, Azúcar!
GG's The Mouthful podcast is brought to you by GoodGame.Tech, the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Join the conversation at www.goodgame.tech.